Hi sewing friends, welcome to my sewing room. My name is Beth, and if you're new, welcome. If you have visited me recently here on my YouTube channel, you'll know that I have been traveling this month from California to Pennsylvania. I brought a few projects, and one of the projects I'm working on is here in a sewing room at the York Fairgrounds with the Airstream Club, the International Airstream Club, at an international rally. While camping here at the fairgrounds, I was able to set up a little sewing area to use for the few days that I'm here with the others that are interested in sewing. There were some knitters, there were some cross stitchers, and we had a really lovely time together. I was able to pop in here during the day whenever I had a chance to do a little sewing. There were a lot of activities, so this sewing area was just one of the fun things that I did this week. I mentioned I did the applique on the drive here, and while I am here in the sewing room, I'm making a lot of half square triangles with some scraps that I brought along to use as sashing for my Dresden plates. I ended up needing some half square triangles that are 2 3/4 inch to go alongside of my Dresden plate blocks. So I cut my squares 3.5 inches, which was just a little bit bigger than I needed. I was hoping to use 3-inch half square triangles, but it didn't quite make it. My math wasn't correct, so I am going to be using 2 3/4 inch half square triangles. So like I often do, I put 2 squares together, right sides together, and then I drew a pencil line down the center. I put a seam on both sides of that pencil line, and I'll have a half square triangle. Now I'll press, and then I'll trim them to 2 3/4 inch half square triangles. I needed a lot of half square triangles to go around all of my quilt blocks. I needed 6 half square triangles for each side of the quilt block, and I'll be going around the 12 quilt blocks that I have, and I am undecided. I may even let my quilt get a little bigger. I only have 12 Dresden plates appliqued, and I have more fabric at home if I want to make my quilt bigger. I brought a lot of squares from home, both the colorful squares and the light background squares, and it is very scrappy, and I think that helps these Dresden plates just get a little more interesting. So I was able to actually use up all of the fabric that I brought, and when I get home I'll be cutting more 3.5-inch squares so that I can make a lot more of these beautiful half square triangles. Well, I had a wonderful week sewing here in York, Pennsylvania, and I also had a special treat. One of my friends here in my sewing room named Annie stopped by for a little visit, and it was so nice to meet her and meet one of my quilting friends that I have here in my sewing room. Thank you for visiting me, Annie. And here is all that I got done this week with a little mock-up of what it will look like when it's all complete. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you next time.